All right, here's our guy, Bol Bol. If you don't know who Bol Bol is, he's like 7'4". He's an NBA player, obviously, but he has a crazy skill set. He can dribble, he can shoot mid range, he can shoot threes, he can block shots, he can pretty much do it all on the NBA court. Yet he doesn't get very many minutes to prove himself. So there's all sorts of theories going around about why Bol Bol is not able to get the minutes that he deserves out there because I personally think he does definitely deserve some more minutes. His highest playing season was 21 minutes per game, so it just doesn't make any sense why he doesn't get more minutes and a bigger chance to prove himself. Because over these past 4 games for Phoenix before the All Star break, he's been playing really good and averaging some really good numbers. So people are just confused why he doesn't get more minutes and get a chance, to see the NBA court. But anyway, there's some different theories about why Bol Bol doesn't get to play. I just watched a video, and they were saying the reason Bol Bol is not able to play is because there can only be one. The NBA only wants one 7'5" demigod out on the court that can shoot and dribble and shoot mid range and threes and block shots and just do everything on the court basically. I'm a Spurs fan, so I'm always going to say Wembanyama is better than Bol Bol, in my opinion. It's a biased opinion, of course. I know there's people that say that Bol Bol can do everything Wemby can do. He just doesn't get the chance to prove himself. I don't know about that, but I do think they have a very similar skill set. I'll agree on that. Wemby gets like his 35 minutes per game. I think Wemby's averaging like 34 minutes per game or so, where Bol Bol is not even getting, 25 minutes per game this season. So as a Spurs fan, I'm not scared of Bol Bol. I don't think anyone in San Antonio is like scared of Bol Bol or thinking, oh, we got to keep Bol Bol on the bench in Phoenix. That way he doesn't steal Victor Wembanyama's shine or anything. I don't think anybody's thinking like that. The video of the guy that I watched, he was saying, again, there can only be one. The NBA only wants one superstar, 7'5" unicorn type of player. Comment below what you think. I don't think that makes so much sense. I don't agree with that. Again, as a Spurs fan, I love Wembanyama. I'm always going to love Wembanyama more than Bol Bol. But if you gave me a crystal ball and I could look into the future and see, 4 years into the future, Bol Bol is 25, so he'd be 29 at that point. But regardless of that, if you gave me that crystal ball as a Spurs fan, I looked into it and I could see, man, Bol Bol is going to be the best player in the NBA in 5 years. So he's going to be better than Wemby, of course. If he's the best player in the NBA, I'd still say give that man his 35 plus minutes per night because I want to see the NBA be the best product it can be. With that being said, the video I watched, he was making the point that again the NBA only wants that one 7'5" guy that can do it all. They want to market Wembanyama because he's more marketable than Bol Bol. We'll get into that in a little bit, but like I was saying, I don't see how having two 7'5", 7'4" demigods is gonna hurt the NBA. Like I said, as a Spurs fan, I'd love to see the Spurs match up with Phoenix in the playoffs next year, whenever that would happen, and see a battle between Wemby and Bol Bol if Bol Bol is actually getting the minutes he deserves. So that's why it makes no sense to me that the NBA will be holding back Bol Bol just to push Wembanyama more, because again, it would be better for the league as a whole if Bol Bol and Wembanyama were matching up in the playoffs, playing each other, 3 or 4 times a year in the regular season, and watching two 7'5" guys with those crazy skill sets battle it out. Like that's way better for the NBA than holding back Bol Bol for whatever reason just so Wemby can shine and be more marketable. Comment below what you think. I think Wemby is more marketable. He's just more, I don't know, he's a bigger personality, I guess, whatever you want to say about it. But they have similar games. Bol Bol, he's fun to watch, and no one's asking him to be super marketable. No one's asking him to be the face of the NBA. All we're asking, again, I'm a Spurs fan, and I'd be asking the same thing. Just let the dude play 30, 35 minutes a night. Let him do that for a whole season, and let's see what happens. Let's see how he looks. There's no reason for him to be playing 20 minutes per night. His highest playing season was with the Orlando Magic. He played 21 minutes per game that season, and there's no reason for the dude not to play, 30 plus minutes per night. When he played with Orlando, he played 70 games that season, so it's not like he's shown not to be able to play 70 plus minutes per night. 70 plus minutes, 70 plus games per season and put up some minutes in those games. It's not like he's shown to be injury prone or anything like that. We'll get to that reason right now. I'll just call that reason number one. We'll say reason number one is, what if he's injury prone? He has some chronic injury we don't know about. Comment below what you think. I don't agree with that reasoning because, like I said, he played in Orlando 2 years ago. He put up 70 games, playing 20 minutes. I've been watching him play these past 4 games, and this season, he moves around like a guard. He doesn't look like he has some injury, like some back problem or some foot problem or knee problem. He moves around great out there. He doesn't look like that's any problem for him. He's only 25 years old. So we'll scratch that. I'll call that reason number one. Some chronic injury we don't know about. So we'll scratch that again. Comment below what you think. But when I watch him play, I don't see some guy that looks to have some lingering chronic injury. Again, he played 70 games in Orlando. So, I can see him playing 65 plus games a season if he gets the minutes. So, number one, I'm going to scratch it, chronic injury. We'll get to number two. Like that guy was saying in the video I was watching, someone said it's the Bol Bol doesn't pass the brown paper bag test. I don't know if they're just saying he's ugly or he's not marketable, whatever they're saying, but I don't agree with that either. Maybe Wemby's more marketable than Bol Bol. I guess I would agree with that, being a Spurs fan. But like I said before, no one's asking him to be the face of the league or to be super marketable. Um, Tim Duncan's the best power forward of all time. Tim Duncan's probably a top 10 player of all time. You can argue that. If you don't think he's in the top 10, like, I don't care. I'm not arguing with you on that. But Tim Duncan was not a marketable player. Like, he was never the face of the NBA. Oh, Tim Duncan's boring. Tim Duncan's boring. That's all people outside of San Antonio would say. And go ask people in all 50 states, go ask people all around the world who the best power forward of all time is. And whether you agree it is or isn't Tim Duncan, you have to put him in the conversation. And he was never marketable. So like I was saying, no one's asking Manute Bol, that's his father. No one's asking Bol Bol to be some super marketable player for the NBA. We're just asking to give the dude 30 plus minutes a night for a whole season and kind of see what he can do because his skill set is a really large skill set. Worst case scenario, if you give him 30 plus minutes per night, in my opinion, he gives you like 14 points, 8 rebounds, and maybe 2 to 3 blocks. Like, worst case scenario, if you play him minutes, is that he's an elite rim protector for you. And I don't know what team couldn't use an elite rim protector because he's shown to be that. So chronic injuries first. I don't see anything with chronic injuries. Number two, he doesn't pass the brown paper bag test like that one dude said. But again, you can argue about whether he's marketable or not because that's kind of what that guy was saying. But like I said, I don't care about him being marketable. Just give the man some minutes. No one's asking him to be the face of the NBA. Number three is that he's like a locker room cancer or he's lazy or unprofessional. I haven't so much heard the locker room cancer rumors, but I've heard that he's lazy and unprofessional. I don't agree with that. Maybe he is lazy, unprofessional. None of us are in the locker room. None of us really know that. But a lot of NBA players are lazy and unprofessional, and they have a really good skill set, and they go out there and they play well. He just shows too much potential to not give him a chance. Again, a bunch of dudes are lazy and unprofessional. Get Bol Bol out on the court for 30 minutes or more a game. You guys are the front office. All these people around him, coaches. It's your job to an extent to try to help him out with his laziness or his unprofessionalness. Again, I'm not saying he is lazy or unprofessional. And if he is, I'm not saying it's not up to him to try to fix that. But at the same time, the front office should try to help with that as well. And not to put blame on Bol Bol or the front office, maybe to split between those two to help him with that if that is an issue. But regardless, even if that is an issue, he just shows too much potential not to play the dude 30 plus minutes a game. So the chronic injuries, laziness or unprofessionalness, him not being marketable, I'm just throwing all three of those out. I'm not worried about those. I heard a rabbit hole theory. The next one is, if you know his father, Manute Bol, he was like 7'7". I don't know if the NBA blackballed him as well, but he had more blocks than points in his entire career. But he wasn't as like nimble. He didn't move around as well as Manute Bol, or as well as his son Bol Bol does. Manute Bol, again, he's 7'7", so he was a bit taller than Bol Bol. He was not working on his jump shot and stuff back then. He was more just a shot blocker, and he didn't get a lot of minutes back in his day. But with that being said, Manute Bol, pretty much all the money he made in the NBA, he pumped it all back into his community in Africa, which, of course, helped his community around him. So I've heard a crazy rabbit hole theory that the NBA doesn't want Bol Bol to reach his potential and get some $100 million contract, whatever it is, and then pump all of his money back into his community in Africa because the NBA wants to keep the game like American, I guess. I don't agree with this argument point. It's a crazy rabbit hole theory, but basically they don't want Bol Bol to take his money back to Africa and build up his community because then the United States is competing with all the continents and countries, so it's going to somehow bring Africa closer to the United States in the power balance or politically. Comment below what you think on this take. I think it's really out there in a rabbit hole take, but just to entertain it, say Bol Bol does get a $100 million contract. His father Manute Bol pretty much pumped all of his money into Africa, into his community. He went like bankrupt after leaving the NBA because he's pumping money into building hospitals and things like that in Africa, which is awesome. Just to entertain that take, let's say Bol Bol does the same thing. He reaches his potential. He makes like $200 million in NBA money, whatever it is, and he pumps every single penny back into Africa to help his community. I think that would be awesome. But just to go back down the rabbit hole of USA Africa power balance or something like that theory someone had put up there, that would be like billions, trillions of dollars. If Bol Bol pumped 100 million, $200 million back into Africa, it's just going to help his immediate community. It's a lot of money. You're gonna see a difference in his community. It's going to help his community in a large way, but it's not going to somehow bring Africa closer to the United States, military wise or as a country or something. That would be billions and trillions of dollars he'd have to pump into Africa to do that. So just to go down the rabbit hole for a second, I don't agree with that theory. Comment below what you think. I don't agree with any of the theories so far, but comment below what you think on the rabbit hole theory that the NBA doesn't want Bol Bol to make money and pump it back into Africa the way his father did. I think that would just be awesome to give back to your community wherever you're from. And then also on that theory, there is an NBA Africa, so they do have their own league in Africa, which isn't very big, but they're trying to build it up as well over there. And then, like I said before, it's just a global game. I don't think having an African player out there, back to the point that Wembanyama can be the only 7'5" demigod. Um, you know, Even back to that point, just having two 7'5" guys that skilled going at it would be super interesting to watch. And then if you make it a battle between Africa and France, or Africa and Europe, basically would be more accurate. It's just more fun for the NBA. Getting into that theory, I guess they want to see an American player out there or whatever it is, but the NBA is getting more and more dominated by foreign players. So I don't think the league as a whole would not want that to happen. Two 7'5" demigods going against each other. It's the battle of Africa and Europe. Like, it would just be even cooler for the global game. Um, Comment below what you think about that, but I don't see why the NBA would want to suppress, you know what I mean, foreign players when they seem to always try to promote their foreign players. But I would agree with what you're probably thinking. Like, Bol Bol does not get the minutes he deserves, and he does not get promoted like he should, which is kind of the point of this video with the theories of why he's not getting minutes. But to my reason, number 5, it's just that the NBA is blackballing him. I feel like they are blackballing him. Comment below what you think the reason is, but no one really seems to know exactly why the reason is. But yeah, I agree he is getting blackballed. It makes no sense, you know, why they wouldn't want him out there. Having two 7'5" demigods would be awesome for the league. It would be awesome battles between them. The other reason is the rabbit hole theory. They don't want him pumping money back into Africa, which I don't agree with that so much. That's kind of a rabbit hole theory. Um, the other reason he's not marketable, so like his face or whatever, they want to promote European and American players more than him. I don't agree with that theory so much either. Let's say they're not trying to promote him. No one's asking him to be the face of the NBA again. They're just asking, give the dude 30 minutes plus a game because he has the skill set and the potential to deserve those minutes. Um, so yeah, I just feel like I do agree with the fact or the opinion that the NBA is blackballing him. Comment below why you think that's happening again. If it's because he's not marketable enough, if you want to go down the crazy rabbit hole that the NBA doesn't want him to pump money back into Africa, if you think it's some chronic lingering injury that we don't know about, I don't agree with any of those theories. If you think it's the league blackballing him, I think a lot of us would agree that he's being blackballed for some reason. And then the other theory that I put out there is that he's like a locker room cancer or he's unprofessional or lazy. I feel like that's the thing that's pushed out there the most in NBA circles, that he's lazy or unprofessional or whatever. But like I said before, who cares? Like, get this man out there 30 plus minutes. You know, I don't agree that he is lazy or unprofessional. Nobody knows except the people in the locker room. Kevin Durant doesn't seem to think so. Kevin Durant's been working with Bol Bol and praising him. But, even if he is lazy or unprofessional, help him, work on that with themselves. That's what coaching is for. You're supposed to help guide him in the right direction, whatever it is. But, even if that is the case, he's just too talented not to help him develop his skills and then help him work on, for the sake of argument, let's say he is lazy and unprofessional, help him develop his skills and help him develop his work ethic as well if that is the problem. But please comment below what you think. I don't know what it is. I agree that the NBA is blackballing him for some reason, but let me know what you think the reason is. If you don't think it's any of the reasons I listed, please comment below why you think it's happening because, like I said, even as a Spurs fan, I'm never going to say Bol Bol is better than Wembanyama unless he's just averaging 40 points and 20 rebounds a game or something. It's just undeniable. But like I said earlier, as a Spurs fan, I'm not scared of Bol Bol or something. I don't think there can only be one 7'5" demigod out there. If Bol Bol is playing more minutes, it's just more highlights for the NBA. It's more entertaining. I can't think of like an African superstar. You have someone that's actually from Africa that's a superstar. I can't think of any reasons why it wouldn't be good for the NBA globally, like immediately with the Wemby Bol Bol battles. I just can't think of any reason. Please comment below what you think. Please like and subscribe if you finished the video. I'm at a big 27 subscribers now. YouTube said if I can get to 30 subscribers, they're going to send me a diamond ring for my pinky. So please like and subscribe. Please comment below why you think Bol Bol is getting blackballed like this as well. Thank you again.